This video will illustrate how to create new resources inside SHMS. By the end of the video, you should be able to identify the three tools used to create new resources inside SHMS: OpenAuthor, Module Builder, and Lesson Builder. You should be able to identify the differences between OpenAuthor and Module Builder by a simple comparison. You should be able to locate the place to submit a resource, and you should be able to explain how to determine which copyright considerations are pertinent to the license you'll attach to the resources you author. Before we begin, bear in mind the following. While anyone can search the SHMS site and find and view resources, all other actions require a user to log into the site. In this video, we will be authoring resources, so we will need to be logged into the site. To log in, locate the Login link in the Global Navigation menu at the top right-hand side of the page. Notice that your username will then appear post-login in the place of the login link. If your name does not appear, then you've likely not successfully logged in. So what tools are available for authoring resources in SHMS? Inside of SHMS, you can create a new document-like resource by using OpenAuthor. Alternatively, you can use the module or the lesson builder tools to create a resource with scaffolded sequential components, or steps. It is also possible to contribute a resource to SHMS which already exists somewhere else online, like a web page or a part of a website. This is called submitting a resource. This video will only briefly reference the lesson builder and submit a resource features, and will focus instead on using OpenAuthor and Module Builder. You can begin creating new resources in SHMS by clicking on the Create link in the Global Navigation menu. At the Create page, notice that you are given three tool options: OpenAuthor, Module Builder, and Lesson Builder. At the top right corner of the Module and Lesson Builder images, you will see ribbons that read 4K12, or for primary and secondary education levels corresponding to the Lesson Builder, and for higher ed, or for tertiary education levels corresponding to the Module Builder. Additionally, you can either click to start authoring or building, or click on the Learn More link at the bottom of each image for more information about those tools. So let's look at how to create an OpenAuthor document in 3 steps. Beginning at the Create page, we click on the light blue Start Authoring link at the left-hand side of the page. You are now inside an OpenAuthor document. Looking to the right side of the page, you see that there are 3 tabs corresponding to the steps for creating and publishing an OpenAuthor document. Those steps are Write, Describe, and Submit. At the step of writing, you can add a title, add content to the page by using the box in the middle of the page, and you can format that content. If you'd like to add an image or a video or a link to another website, the options to do that are available in the toolbar above where you are adding the content. Notice one of the options in the toolbar controls the text style. Clicking on the drop-down menu for that option shows several styles, 2 of which read header and subheading. You can use these 2 options to add sections to the table of contents at the left-hand side of the page. In the table of contents, you can create an outline for your document. Headings typed directly into the heading area here will appear in the document's body text as well. The same holds true for subheadings. Notice that you can click on a plus symbol to add a heading or a subheading to the table of contents. New units, as is explained in the help text shown while hovering above the question mark symbol, are similar to adding chapters or sections to a resource. At the top of the OpenAuthor document, under the document title, there are 2 options to either save what you've entered thus far or preview what you've entered thus far. At the very bottom of the OpenAuthor document, under the box where you're adding content, there are 3 helpful links. First, Add from My Items. This link allows you to add other resources that you've already added to SHMS as resource sets in your OpenAuthor document. This might be helpful if you're creating instructional material, such as a lesson plan with instructions, and you want to reference an activity you'd created using, for example, Module Builder, or another resource that you'd found elsewhere on the internet. Second, you can add a co-author. When doing so, you will have the ability to search for another SHMS user via name or email, and the new co-author will also be able to edit the document. Their name will additionally appear under the document's author information, and the document will appear in their list of items. Finally, an Import from Google Docs link enables you to import content that you may already have stored in a Google document. In order to utilize this option, you will first need to have a Gmail address or a Google account, and will be asked to allow SHMS to access that account. Next, you click on the Describe tab at the top. In the Describe tab, you add descriptive information about your resource, which will make your resource more findable for other SHMS members. You can add a summary explaining the purpose of the resource, the intended audience, or the setting in which it may be used. Then you can specify a subject of focus, an educational use, a material type, etc. Notice in the rightmost columns are the learning goals. This is a place where you can indicate the learning objectives per unit, assuming you have multiple units. If, for example, you have 3 units, you may attach a number of learning objectives to each of these 3 units. Here you can also add keywords or tags and align the resource to given standards. Note, only several of the fields on the Describe page are mandatory, and those fields are indicated by an asterisk following the name of the field. The third and final step is located at the Submit tab. This is where you can indicate the copyright license you'd like to attach to the resources you've authored. Will you allow other SHMS members to modify or remix the resource? If you have a resource containing sensitive information, such as how to use a tool or process you've developed, then you might not want to allow modifications. However, if you've developed a resource about learning math through cooking, for example, and you are interested to see how other members add to or refine your original approach, maybe you would want to allow that for modifications. You then determine whether to permit commercial use of the resource or someone's ability to use the resource in exchange for financial gain or for commercial purposes, and determine a jurisdiction or the geographic space in which your license can be enforced. When you are done, click the Publish link at the bottom right side of the Submit tab, and your resource can now be found in SHMS. Note, to check that you've successfully published a resource, go to the My Items link located in the menu under your username. If your resource has the italicized word draft next to it, then it has not been published and is still in the unpublished draft state. You'll need to again select the Publish option from the Submit tab in order to have your resource appear to other SHMS members. Module Builder and Lesson Builder are different tools as compared to OpenAuthor. Both builders allow you to create resources that have instructor-facing content and student-facing content, or, in other words, content that is specifically designed to be viewed by only instructors or students. The steps required to create a resource using Module and Lesson Builder are similar to that of OpenAuthor. First, you add content or edit content, and then you describe and finally submit or publish the resource. Let's look at the steps specifically using Module Builder. Begin by clicking on the Create link in the Global Navigation menu and then selecting Start Building on the Create page. You are now on the Edit page of the Module Builder tool. Notice that there are no tabs corresponding to the steps. Instead, you can move to the Describe and Publish stages using light blue colored links at the middle of the right-hand side of the page. Just above that is located a number of options for previewing the resource, as well as the Add a Co-author and Save links. There are two main sections of this page. First, the section for adding instructor-facing content, and second, a section for adding student-facing content. Content for the instructor may contain an overview of the resource, materials required, and preparation steps or instructions. It is also possible to attach required materials or supplementary resources to this section. The student-facing information is added to the Tasks section of this page. Notice that when the Add Task link is clicked, you can add a description of the task for the instructor before actually adding the instructions or information for the student. You can also add student-specific supplementary resources here. Finally, you have the option to add a step if this module requires a student to complete multiple steps. You complete Module Builder by describing the resource, similar to the process using OpenAuthor, and then selecting the copyright licenses and clicking Submit. Let's look at a completed example of a resource created using Module Builder. We see at the top the overview and all instructor and student-facing information. To the right of that, we see several viewing options. An in-class view provides a student view of the resource with easily accessible drop-down menus for supplementary resources and other instructor-facing information. This might be helpful if you want to project the resource onto a screen in class for your students. The other option is Student View and contains only the student-facing information. This might be helpful if you'd like simply to direct students to a web address or a link for the resource and ask that they move through the tasks or steps at their own pace. Under the viewing links are options to save the resource to a folder, remix the resource, or, if you have authored the resource, the option to edit. In some cases, you may want to contribute a resource to SHMS which already exists on a website somewhere. Submitting a resource also involves 3 steps. To do so, first go to your username in the global navigation bar and select My Items from the drop-down menu. Next, towards the left-hand side of the page, click on the light blue colored link Contribute to SHMS and select Submit a Resource from the drop-down menu. In this first step, you provide key information about the resource, such as its title, a summary, the provider and the authors, and most importantly, the unique URL or web address where that resource can be found online. Next, you describe the resource using the same options available as shown on the advanced search page and click the Next link at the bottom. Finally, you assign a copyright license similar to the process for OpenAuthor and Module Builder. Notice that there is one extra field here available in which you can indicate an existing copyright license holder. Please bear in mind, if you are not the owner of the copyright and you do not work for the organization nor represent the copyright holder of an existing resource, then you need to seek written permission before posting an otherwise private piece of copyrighted content to SHMS. Let's review what we've learned. There are 2 routes to creating resources in SHMS, using OpenAuthor or the module or lesson builder. Creating new resources using SHMS tools produces more portable, remixable, and reusable resources due to the ease of multi-format use, ease of revisions, and ability to update or localize content as is needed. OpenAuthor is a document-like format allowing you to create multiple units or chapters and import information from Google Docs. Module Builder uses scaffolding or sequence steps that move learners procedurally through a lesson, topic, or activity. Using Module Builder, you can create resources with specific instructor-facing and student-facing content, and you can view the content separately once the resource has been published. Both OpenAuthor and Module Builder allow you to attach supplementary resources, in other words files, add co-authors, and easily remix the resource. Both of the tools are also saved in draft state or an unpublished form in the My Items area until you've clicked the Submit or Publish buttons to finalize your resource. Submitting resources which already exist on the internet is possible using the Contribute to SHMS link in your My Items page. It involves 3 steps similar to other SHMS authoring tools. Be sure that you are allowed to submit a resource you find on the internet vis-a-vis copyright considerations before taking this action. That concludes this video.